Welcome to Vintage Variety. Today's content is Vintage Jewelry Identification for Lisner Jewelry. I'll be sharing some background information about the company's history as I show pieces from my own personal collection. I'll also be talking about which pieces are the most valuable or most collectible and how to determine the age of pieces by the way they are marked. At the end of the content, I will be announcing the winner of my jewelry jar giveaway, so please stay tuned for that. Lisner began as a wholesaler. They sold imported items, including jewelry. In the 1930s, Lisner started having its own jewelry manufactured in Rhode Island. I've mentioned in previous content there was a lot of costume jewelry being made in Rhode Island during that time, a lot of it in job shops. I'll link that content below in the description box in case anyone's interested. One thing that you'll notice about Lisner jewelry is that many of their pieces contain elements of nature such as fruit, leaves, flowers, and sometimes animals. In its day, Lisner was considered very inexpensive jewelry, often viewed as junk jewelry. Today, many of the pieces are highly collectible and sought after. The most popular pieces among collectors are the ones done in Lucite. The pieces came in many different colors, and one of the most notable and collectible designs are the oak leaf pieces. This first piece that I'm going to share with you guys is actually my favorite piece of Lisner jewelry. It's on a very long chain, so I have it doubled up. But is this not gorgeous? And I'm going to show you the marking on it and talk a little bit about the different marks that Lisner used that'll help you have an idea of how to determine the age of your pieces. This is the marking on this piece. You can see that it's all in capital letters and they have the copyright mark in front of the words Lisner. Lisner began marking or stamping their jewelry in around 1935. The first Lisner mark that was used was all capital letters without a copyright symbol. In 1938, the company began using Lisner with a capital L and the remaining letters in lowercase, and again, no copyright symbol. This necklace is done in a design that makes it look a lot older than it really is. That's why it's always important to do your research. This particular necklace, I've not found another one like it in the Lisner line when I've done research, but going by the copyright, this necklace is nowhere near as old as it appears to be. This next piece is a beautiful necklace done in a colored lucite. It's done in different tones of orange and peachy colors. You'll notice with a lot of their jewelries, many of the pieces will be the exact same design, but they'll be done in different colors. This necklace is marked on the hook, and you'll see it has the copyright symbol and Lisner in all capital letters. The Lisner mark in all capital letters with a copyright symbol was used after 1955. This necklace was most likely made sometime after 1955. This next necklace is also done in a beautiful colored lucite. And this is the oak leaf design that is so sought after by collectors. Of course, if I had the entire set, it would be much more valuable, but I only have this one piece. These also came in a large variety of colors, and they were only made for a short period of time. This piece is also marked in all capital letters with a copyright symbol. This next necklace, this is done all in gold tone, and this is more of a choker length, although it is adjustable. And I really like the design of this. I think one of the great things about vintage and some antique jewelry is that it's still relevant today. These pieces never really go out of style. And despite the age on this, there's hardly any wear. It's in excellent condition. There's the marking on this piece, Lisner in all capital letters, and it also has the copyright symbol. There's one more thing that I wanted to point out, and I'm going to use these 3 necklaces to show you. This bird necklace, I'm going to assume this is the original chain. This chain just has a simple spring ring clasp, and it's not marked. It could have had a hang tag on it at one time, but it does not now. So I'm not going to use this as an example, but what I did want to show you on these necklaces is something that I've shown when I did the content on Coro jewelry. Notice the ends. It has these little pieces on the ends. So in the Coro content, I talked about a lot of the Coro necklaces having end pieces that help you identify them as being Coro. If the necklace still has these parts, this comes in really handy because often the J-hook will fall off or it'll get replaced, especially if you're in a thrift store. You'll find pieces that are missing an end piece. But these are really great little items if they're still on the necklace to help you identify it. I'll link the content to Coro in the description box below in case you guys missed that. But for example, if I were out thrifting and just saw this piece hanging on the necklaces, then I would say, well, that's most likely a Lisner necklace because you will see this on a lot of their jewelry. Some pieces will have this piece that looks like this, and then other pieces will have a piece that looks like this. A little bit of interesting information that I wanted to share with you guys about these beautiful necklaces. This is a beautiful silver tone brooch. I love the design of this, and you can see that it's set with little rhinestones. This one is also marked again in all capital letters, and then it has the copyright symbol beside it. This adorable little silver tone brooch set with marcasets came out of a jewelry bag. It's a rather small brooch, but I think that it's just adorable. Not sure how clear that is, guys, but once again, the marking on this one is Lisner in all capital letters, and it does have the copyright symbol. This is another piece of Lisner. It's done in colored lucite, and again, you can see this piece has the popular oak leaf design. These are done in more of a tan and a light golden color, set in a silver background, and of course, it has little tiny rhinestones. It's not coming in very clear, but again, this is the marking on this piece. And it also is done in capital letters with the copyright symbol. So I believe that most of the pieces that are in my collection were made sometime after 1955 because most of them are signed the same way. I don't really have any pieces that are older, although I probably have a few more pieces laying around that I just overlooked when I was pulling pieces. Then we have these beautiful Lisner earrings. This is a design that looks very familiar to me. When I was looking through my jewelry trays, I noticed these and I thought that they were Sarah Cuff because I do have a pair of Sarah Cuff earrings that look almost like these, but these are marked. These are also marked with the capital letters and the copyright symbol. This next pair of earrings that I'm going to show you guys, I have showed them in content in the past. These came from an antique store. These are Richie Lou. In 1970, Lisner purchased Richie Lou and became known as Lisner Richie Lou. The company was sold to Victoria Creations in 1979. But by 1985, the jewelry was no longer being sold under the Lisner name. And there's the marking on these, Richie Lou and Sterling. Most of you that are collectors probably own a couple of pieces of Richie Lou jewelry, or you've ran across it while you were out thrifting, or as I like to call it, treasure hunting. Richie Lou is a brand that had been around since the late 1800s. Their jewelry was relatively inexpensive, and they did a lot of pieces using faux pearls, and they were quite popular and known for that. So this was probably a good merger for Lisner Jewelry. And talking about their jewelry being relatively inexpensive, as I've already shown you, these are done in a Lucite, but the posts on these are done in sterling. So I think that these were really quality made pieces of jewelry. Since I mentioned the topic of Richie Lou, this is a Richie Lou brooch that I wanted to show you guys. You can see that it has this beautiful enameling on it. It looks like mother of pearl, but I believe this is just enamel work. And it has these lovely pearls that are set into it. I'm going to turn this over and see if I can zoom in, and I'll show you the signature on it. And there's the Richie Lou marking on this piece. It's a pretty good sized brooch. You can see it's long in length. This is an original Richie Lou before they were bought out by Lisner. Now I'm going to announce the winner for the drawing of the jewelry jar that I did in my recent subscriber appreciation sale. The number that I chose was the number 7, and the winner is Jennifer Hayes. So out of all of the giveaways I've done, I think there's only been twice that I've had an actual YouTuber win. For those of you that don't know Jennifer, Jennifer has a YouTube channel. She does a lot of jewelry unbagging. Definitely check her out, subscribe. She has some great content. I'll put a link to her channel in the description box below. The name of her channel is Jennifer Hayes. And she also has an Etsy shop. It's called Jen's Vintage Gems. There is a link to her shop on her channel under the About section. So definitely go check Jennifer's channel out. Congratulations, Jennifer. If you'll get in contact with me, I will get this shipped out to you. For everyone that watched the subscriber appreciation sale, I want to shout out a big thank you to you guys. That concludes my content today. I hope that you found this content informative and enjoyable. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to share these items with me. If you haven't already, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications on more content about collecting vintage and antique items. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.